Okay.
חושב שאנחנו בלייב, ג'י.
Yes, we're live. We are definitely live.
With R.A The Rugged Man.
Already live? Are we allowed to curse? Are we allowed to say anything? Or what's the word?
You're allowed to say any fucking thing you want.
Or any fucking thing, I guess.
Yes, you can curse in multiple languages.
Yep, I only know one language. I know American.
We can teach you some Hebrew curses.
I say English, but you know, America doesn't even speak proper English. We talk like fucking weirdos. So yeah.
We can definitely teach you some Hebrew curse words.
Yeah.
Most of them Arabic.
I was never out there doing shows. I know back in the day, Remedy brought a lot of the Wu-Tang members out there.
Yeah, it was Remedy and Killer Priest. We were there.
Yeah, Priest went out there with Rem, and the Capadonna tour was just Priest.
Yep.
Capadonna was supposed to be there too, but he canceled last minute. But he was supposed to be there too. I remember that.
I know Rem had some shows out there though with some of the Wu guys. Yeah. But I'd love to go out there one day. But I just, you know, it's about, you know, the right promoters, you know.
Yeah, the right bookers.
Connected in different worlds, you know, different parts of the world with the right booking agents. But, you know, there's a lot of artists. So the ones that know the people in each territory, they're the ones that get the shows there, you know.
So this is a great time to say to all the Israeli bookers, bring R.A.
Bring R.A The Rugged Man. The perfect time, right in the middle of Corona.
In Corona time. Everybody get sick together.
I'm not afraid. Let's do it.
Yeah. We go to the show wearing masks. So everybody.
No masks, just bloody mosh pits. No masks, biting and spitting on each other. Let's go. Promoters, book it.
The Corona tour, guys.
You heard it straight from the source, guys. So everybody who's joining us, welcome to Jigga Juice. We are live on Facebook, and with us, first Matan Sharon, who's joining as an interview, but most importantly, the legend, R.A The Rugged Man. What up?
Yeah, excuse my appearance. I forgot about the interview. They put it on my schedule, and then I got a text and was like, "Yo, you have an interview." I was like, "Really?" I'm fighting with the family right now. I had to go get a hotel room, so like I'm hidden out in a hotel, and I threw a hat on and threw a bullshit shirt on, and here I'm in the hotel room.
It's good. That's our format, the surprise interview.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, you got an interview, right? I'm like, I do. I don't like to cancel on people, even if I'm not prepared. So I saw that we were committed to it. So I was like, fuck, I don't even like being late. So excuse me for being late. That was some bullshit. I'm never late for anything, you know?
We appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Yeah, and don't worry, don't need to be prepared. We got the questions. You know the answers to them, so I think it'll be okay.
Yeah. All right.
So all right, before we get to the music and the album, this is obviously a very intense time in America. Even if you're not there at the moment, I'm sure you know a lot of people who are in the forefront of this. As someone who saw it all, from the Giuliani era until now, do you think what we're seeing now was inevitable?
Yeah. I mean, just look at history. They always do it. You know, the fall of the Roman Empire. You know, it's always going to happen. You know, so yeah. And you know, I see a lot of, oh, they're destroying the streets. Oh, they're destroying things. But you know, looting and burning and hurting shit is helping, because all four of the cops got, they're all in jail.
Yeah.
All four of them. And if it wasn't for all that outcry, they'd all be free on the streets, and they'd be manipulating the paperwork like, it was a health condition. And you know, they don't put cops in jail unless there's a fucking public outcry and they have to save their shit, you know. And now in Minneapolis, there's cries to defund the police.
Yeah.
And you know, that would have never been taken serious in the past, you know. So now it's looking serious, you know. And I don't think they're going to defund the police where they're going to just no cops at all, you know, where anarchy, you know, who knows? The system we live in right now isn't working. So I'm not saying anarchy would work either, but who the fuck knows? I wouldn't mind that. But that, when they're saying defund the police, they're not even talking about like getting rid of cops. They're talking about defunding them to a degree where we still have a police force to handle this, but then we take the money that we didn't give them and we give it to, you know, community services and people who help people with mental health and people who help the homeless and people who, if there's a dispute between two lovers, they don't just handcuff the guy and throw him in the, you know, you know, somebody goes there, sees if, you know, like they're talking about changing things. And like police aren't educated to deal with a mental person. What the fuck does a cop know about a mental illness? What the fuck does a cop know about a relationship with a couple? No, all they know is like force them on the ground, put handcuff them, put it, you know, that's all they know. So is that the fucking solution for everything? No, it's not. So this whole platform about defunding the police, everyone's like, this is so ignorant and crazy. No, this shit sounds actually pretty damn smart. You know, it's like
Yes.
the police force is funded $200 billion a year. The American military, as you all know, is what, close to $800 million a fucking year, $1 billion a year. I mean, it's crazy. $200 billion for the police, to $800 billion for the military. You know, that's a lot of money that could be put into better things, you know?
Yeah, and have you ever had a difficult encounter with the police?
Everybody has, because the problem is, well, everybody who's not a bootlicker has, you know, because the whole thing is like, just do whatever the police tell you. So you have these mentally ill, God complex pig motherfuckers, and you listen to them, better listen, but just listen to them, and everything will be all right. Listen to them. So they could invade your rights, they could push you around, they could do whatever they want, they could treat you like piss and shit, and you have to listen to them, and everything will be all right. That's not all right. So that's why when people fight back, you know, police are so scared, and you look at me, oh, you know, these bad people, you know, no, these aren't bad people. This is the community. And yeah, of course, bad things are going to happen, you know, during any revolution. You know, you're gonna have people that take things too far. So then on the news, oh look, this man got hurt, that man got hurt. A few people, you know, lost their lives in the protests, but that wasn't the protesters. You know, the protesters there, most of them fighting for the good fight. And these people who are acting like, oh, this person died, that person died, they don't give a fuck about people dying. They just want to deflect and get off the cause of why people are protesting, because
Yes.
people are getting killed all over the world. And when the military are blowing up civilians and cops are killing, they don't care about those people that are killed. But
Yeah.
now, oh, someone's hurting the protest. This protest is so bad. You know what I mean? It's all hypocrisy.
Yeah, they're just looking for a reason to delegitimize it.
Yep. Exactly.
You left New York a few years ago and you moved to Germany. What are the differences between the life there and the life in the States?
I'm leaving Germany. I'm actually leaving this week.
Really?
Oh,
I moved here
wow.
because the mother of my kids is a school teacher out here, and they got free healthcare, college, shit like that. And the mother's educated; she got a good job out here, and but we're just getting, you know, they got rid of me. They don't want me here no more. So that's why I'm in this hotel room. That's why I'm headed to America. You know, so
Back to America?
yeah. I don't know where yet. I'm figuring that out. You know, so.
Not New York this time?
I don't know where yet. I'd like to go to New York and work on some music and music videos, but I'm not sure where yet. I got family in North Carolina. I got friends in California, but the whole lockdown, the world's not the same. So I got to figure out where or what or where my existence makes the most sense, you know? So
Here's hoping that's for the best. Yeah.
yeah.
And so
Yeah,
now that
the Facebook readers don't mind that I'm being all crunchy eating these peanuts, right?
no, we're not getting any comments about that.
If we don't mind, nobody minds.
Okay, because if it's like annoying, I can stop doing it. I don't
Yeah, I
need
think it's adding to the atmosphere. Like it's a home kind of talk.
All right, cool. Because I don't need to really eat these fucking peanuts. It's just, fucking, I'm eating peanuts.
Sure, why not?
That's all right.
Everybody likes peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get me over there. Let's do some shows out there.
yeah, for sure. You're welcome, and then we can do another one of these in the studio.
Fuck that. Just get me the shows. No, I'm just kidding.
We bring the peanuts.
We bring the peanuts for sure. And the hummus.
Yeah. They're like, we'll pay you peanuts. That's
And
Literally,
hummus. And
literally.
what I'm
hummus.
scared of too after this damn corona is, clubs got hit so hard, everybody got hit, that I'm afraid that our worth is gonna go down. They're gonna try to see which rappers are gonna take the least money to do shows to protect themselves. Like, hey, this rap will do a show for this little. Let's get him. But this is still our livelihood. When the shows come back, we still have to eat and survive. So it's like, I hope they don't try to fucking tell us they ain't paying us right no more because of Corona. I hope they don't use this Corona shit as excuse not to pay us what we
Exactly.
deserve.
No, you're right, but you're a survivor. You've been passed through many difficult lifetimes, not only difficult times.
It's the truth too, because when my artist friends all got because a lot of people lost a lot of money, even the rich ones, the successful guys, who get 40,000 to 20,000 a show, they still lost all their shows, and then the underground guys who have to do 50 shows to get 50 grand, that's still 50 grand, so it's everybody got hit hard, but like me, I'm not in panic mode because I had so many years in a row of doing hundreds of shows and making money and do it like, wow, I'm a success. If I get slapped in the fucking head and woken up and say, hey, it's nothing's guaranteed. There's no more shows. There's no more success. That's life. I've been broke. I've been poor. I've been rich. I've been all of the above. So there's no fear. What's the worst that's gonna happen is that I don't get money no more. Okay, that's life. So I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping all of a sudden the money's flowing in and the hundreds of shows are coming and I could set my kids up for life. I'm hoping, but if that ain't the way it's meant to be, life is life, man. Worse things that happen than being broke. So yeah.
That's a great
Yeah,
attitude.
for sure. And I'm sure that you will be able to perform and earn what you deserve. Do you have like all these complex stuff like video art and all of that on your show?
No. My shows are my energy, me. I don't I know a lot of people bring like the whole cartoon behind. I don't need all of that shit. I'm the cartoon. Like when I'm in your crowd, I don't need no special effects. I'm gonna fuck up your show. You could give somebody $100,000 light show behind me. My show's still gonna eat their show. I don't need all that shit.
That's a true MC attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely
give
need
your
to be in
fancy
the.
lights, your fancy dances, your fancy whatever. I will eat you one man on stage with a microphone, one man and a crowd. I will eat you.
Like peanuts.
You are.
Yeah, like those peanuts.
It's been a
Uh,
long time since your last album, like 7 years. How long
Yeah.
has you been working on All My Heroes Are Dead?
Well, I made an album before my daughter was born. I was close to having an album done, and I don't know. It seemed it was good enough. Like if I dropped it, my fans would have been happy. Oh, new R.A. But I didn't want to perform that album. So
Mm.
like because when I drop shit, they want me to perform those songs for a long time. So yeah, I just want to make something I'm happy with. And when you're dead, they throw that shit on and you go, yeah, that's what I was giving them. So
so you took your time.
So that album was great.
no, I scrapped the whole, I scrapped all the records I did a couple years back, and I started a new album a couple years ago, and yeah, writing
So
rhymes is easy. It's producing an album that you perform for the rest of your life. Not the words. The words are the easy part, but it's the musical part, the
mm,
producing and engineering and getting it all right and the arrangement and how to make it all fit together. That's the hard part. Well, today people just take 12 beats, 7 beats now even. Barely even has a kick and snare, and they just rhyme over 7 loops, and that's an album today. I could shit those out in the fucking bathroom right now. I could shit 50 albums out a year if that was what I was doing. So, but that's not what I do.
So do we have a chance to hear that scraped album in Legendary Classics Volume 2?
Yeah, I might put out some of the songs that I made that weren't released. I actually have a song from like 15 years ago that's dope, but it just never fits any of my projects, and it keeps getting. I'm like, I'll put it on this one. It's a throwback. I'll put it on this one, and I just never put it out. And it's like, it's one of the songs that I know if I drop, everyone will be like, holy shit, but it's just sitting around for 15 fucking years.
You can
Maybe
listen
not
to
15
Lucy.
years. No, about 15 years. It was 13 years. 07. Got a song from 07 that the world would love. I don't know what to do with it. But I got but that particular song I keep bringing up because it's like, oh wow. But I got albums of songs. I mean, I got way more music that was never released than music that has been released, you know?
And the first album is still not on Spotify and Apple Music. The Classified Divs album.
Good.
You prefer it.
You've
Way.
talked
I
about
don't
you.
know. There was a bad time in my life where I wasn't fucking happy, you know, and I like to move forward, you know. It's like it is what it is. I you know, I don't care if they try to look into shit I did when I was a teenager, that's fine. But I just feel like every album I do is better than the last one. So the world hasn't even heard this fucking record yet. The main thing is to get them to hear this record, you know?
Yeah,
So
and congratulations on it because it's really an amazing album. We said it off record, now we say it right here for the world to hear because it's really an amazing album and some really good work and was definitely worth the wait.
thank
And it's also the first time you make an album as a father, at least, and release the album. So, some songs on the album show how it affected you, but other than that, how did fatherhood impact your art?
well, fatherhood makes you not commit suicide.
That's a good way to make an album, yeah.
You'd be like, should I put this bullet in my fucking eyeball? No, what would your daughter do? What would your son do? They'd be very angry at you if they had to go through life knowing that their father put a bullet in his eyeball, you know? So they make you not commit suicide, children. That's a very big plus, you know?
That's like the most R.A thing to say, the most wholesome thing R.A could say.
I love my kids. They keep me alive though. They do. There's a little bit of truth in the joke, you know. So I told their mother, I said, okay, Ella's 4, John's 3. I said, okay, so I guess 15 more years I gotta stick around, you know. 18, 19, they'll be big enough to understand, you know.
The trauma
take it
still
from there.
sticks.
Again?
Yeah, even at 20, the trauma still sticks. I think you got another 25 and even 30 years.
Oh, by then I'll die of some weird disease or heart failure. So then they won't hold it against me. At least they'll feel bad. Like, oh, daddy died. Yeah, okay. I didn't kill myself. I died of the heart. My heart's all fucked up. I'm fat and overweight. I died, kids. It wasn't my fault this time.
You just want to deflect the guilt. That's all.
Yeah. Plus, they'll have life insurance money then, you know. Like, I think if you do suicide, they don't get that. Do they get the life insurance if you
I
kill
think they get with a discount, like the killing yourself thing is off.
Yeah, so we'll wait for one of them heart diseases or cancers or something to kick in so the kids could get the policy, you know.
It will be the whole dramatic hospital scene.
And they'll know I love them. I'll be in the hospital like, I love you. See, I didn't kill myself, kids. Stuck around for you guys.
That's a great will and testimony. Well, actually, with the way you've been living, at least at first, it's a wonder, it's a miracle that you're here with us. And we're thankful, you know, that we got to see you evolve as an MC and an artist for all those years. Like, what do you think that the young R.A would tell to the old R.A? Like, he would look at you, will he be proud? Will he be ashamed? Will he be...
Oh, there's some things that I do where the old RA would be like, what a pussy. What a fucking pussy. I would smack the shit out of that what a fucking loser. Yeah, you know. And then look at me. I look at my old guy, go like, what a fucking loser, you know. Yeah, but yeah, you know, the new me, I learned how to keep my calm a little bit. I'm still crazy. I still lose my cool and lose my temper. I still got a bad temper, but I'm way better. Like I with old age, I learned to not always go to war, you know, like, you know, somebody throws a little disrespect. Back in the day, you know, that meant war. You have to, you know, oh, it's wartime, disrespect. You know, now you get a little older, you go, you got 100 more shows this year. You know, if you're gonna fight someone every night because of disrespect, you know, you're not gonna have a tour. You're gonna lose everything. So I've been learning to kind of just, all right, you know, sometimes I lose it and I don't, you know, the mind gets the best of me and I my temper goes. But I learned to like, hey man, you're a performer. That's what you're here to do, perform. You're not here to uh be the non-disrespect, you know, like anyone disrespects me, I'm breaking bottles on your heads, you know, fuck all that shit. You gotta learn to but on the flip side, that's why rich rappers bring entourage or not even entourage, bodyguards. Like when I was young, you know, especially like all the lyrics, you know, I'm not a sucker, so I don't need a bodyguard. You know, Rob Bay, everybody was like, you know, if you had a bodyguard, you was a sucker. And I don't have a bodyguard, but like I understand it now because you'll get these kids who you could smack the shit out of and beat the fuck out of. I'm not even talking tough kids, but you get them every night. Somebody want to test you a little bit. You know what I mean? And like, do you fight everybody every night? Or do you have somebody stand by your side and like, hey, back up and let you handle your business with your fans? You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you're an underground rapper, you have to deal with ignorant people every night, you know, because you don't have all these people to like, hey, back up off, you know. So you got to go, hey, you know, you got to. So it's a different world out there when you're underground and not you know, traveling all around the world with entourage. It's just one guy, you know.
You're
So
against the world.
I used to, you know, bar stools, hit people with bar stools. Somebody get out of line, bow, bow every night. You know, now it's more like keep your cool, R.A. Keep you try to keep you cool. You know, and in life it's hard to keep you cool because as a man you're still a man, and you know, as much as you want to not admit it, you know, we're fucking animals, man. We're not we're not peace. You know, that's not man. Man is not peaceful. So to kind of go against that and be like peace, it's not the easiest thing in the world. You know, you try your hardest, but it's not always easy. You know.
Are you going at it with some people online who are talking shit? Because a lot of people who don't do it in real life, online is where they let all of it loose.
Oh no, online nobody would ever say to you, you know, they'll just be like, fuck you in person, you know. But the stuff some people, and that's not most of them, you know, I'm just saying once in a while you get a drunk asshole, you know, something like that. But but back in the day, a drunk asshole saying fuck you, you'd be like, yo, you said fuck you to me. Your whole ego comes, yo, how dare you disrespect, you know, like don't talk shit to me. You know, it was like that whole ignorant thing. But now you go, oh, some drunk guy saying fuck you. You could kick him on the floor, or you could just continue selling your merchandise. You know what I mean? But no, online comments, some like the most horrendously ugly, awful shit that they would never say to anyone to their face. They say, you know, they'll bring, you know, your dead relatives into things, you know, your children, you know, this, that, they'll rape this, they'll rape that, they'll, you know, yeah, I hope you're dead. Somebody just recently on the internet said, I hope your dead retarded sister's burning in hell, you know, like that's literally the level of shit that people try to say on the internet that they would never in their life say to your face, you know. So
Yeah, that's a reason to get the kick in the face.
yeah, that one they would never say that though. They
Yeah.
did. I mean, the stuff. There was one that somebody said about my daughter. You know, when my daughter was like a year old, said something about like some really horrible something, and I was like, wow, like you would really literally, you would get murdered, you know. And then I was like, should I? I was about to respond like, yo, I'll kill you. And I was like, nah, you know what? This is a troll. This is a fucking loser nobody that wants you to add him and he'll take a screenshot. It'll be his whole fucking, you made his whole life that you that he got your attention. That's
Yeah.
what they're trying to do. They say, oh, the only way to get their attention is by saying the worst thing possible. Then they'll acknowledge me. So it's just, yeah, that's what a troll is. So you can't let them win. You got to just be like, fucking
Yeah.
no.
It can also be
Speaking,
very time consuming. I mean, I see quality
The
sometimes.
internet, the most time consuming thing is that you have to, when you're an independent artist, you have to constantly update your socials. So people think like we do it because, oh, it's ego. It's like, no, it's like you have to keep your social medias relevant. You have to keep, people looking and checking your page, and you have to, here's a picture, here's a performance, here's a new picture drawing, here's this, here's my commentary, here, boom, boom, boom. Like you have to do it every day because that's your promotion. And if you're not doing it, you're losing thousands of thousands of thousands of dollars in promotions. So you have to stay on top of your social medias. That is time consuming. Like I wish I could be that fake artist that could just pay a bunch of people to run my socials, and I didn't even ever had to touch it again. But I'm not that guy. I'm a one man guy. I got to produce my videos, edit my videos, go to the mixes, every step of everything. All the promotion is all in house. It's not a big team. So you have to do all of that. They're trying to get me to do Twitch now. I don't know how the fuck to do it. I went on Twitch, like, what the fuck do I do? I went on TikTok. I don't know how to do it. I suck at it. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? But
oh,
Snapchat, I don't know how to do this shit. But you try. Okay, you got an album out. You got to try to figure out how to do these things. So
I want to see the R.A TikTok challenge so bad.
go to TikTok right now. It's terrible. I'm terrible on it. I don't know how to do it.
You should invent an R.A dance.
Yeah.
That seems like, yeah,
Do
You
the
know,
RA.
the
do the
label
R.A, yeah.
always say stuff like that, but then they never do it. They're like, yeah, we'll do a golden oldies with me, but they never do it. They always have these ideas, but they never happen. So I don't know.
Speaking of making the album happen, you had some amazing collaborators in the album with rappers and producers as well. How did you put all of them together?
Oh, I just made the phone call. That's the good thing about being a respected artist. You can make those phone calls and people show up for you. So yeah, I literally just made the calls and they were like, hell yeah, I'm with it, rugged man. Like that's exactly what it was. So
No third parties and everything.
did what?
No third parties and everything.
Nah, nah. What's funny? There was a couple people I wanted to get on there uh, that didn't get on there, and I had to go through a third party. And the only people who wasn't on the album were people who I went through third party. Like I didn't get nobody that contact this person and see boom boom. Everybody who I just called, they all hopped on it. I got two artists where I was dealing with like, oh, you have a different kind of this, you have this or that, boom, boom. It didn't happen. Then another one was like, oh, well, okay, fuck it. Let me just rock with people who fuck with me.
Yeah.
Well,
You
some impressive people fuck with you. Like it's amazing to hear with Ghostface on the same track.
Yeah, Master Killer and Coogee rap.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
A legends.
Yeah, Chuck D of Public Enemy.
yeah. All the MCs on the Slayers Club.
Yeah, Slayers Club is a lot of people saying it's the posse cut of the year, and I can't argue with them. Uh, Vinny Paz and MOP and Onyx and Chris Rivers and Brand Nubian and Ice T and Chino XL, and we really yeah, we hit that one out the park.
Yeah, I think only R.A can like form this alliance, like this versatile group of people.
Who knows? I did it now, and I think people can be like, wow, that's a good formula. I think maybe a lot of people can try to do the same thing.
I miss Pussycat. There used to be so much more of them.
Yep. It was a stable in hip hop having a dope posse cut. But now it's less is more. It's less lyrics, less um, production, less less verses, less intricate elements to the chorus. It's just like one, two, syllable. One, two, syllable. And then you got a fucking hit. I should make that song. One, two, syllable. One, two, syllables. And oh shit, I could say that. And it'll be stuck in their heads.
It's
But
gonna be a hit.
yeah.
But speaking of, we spoke of collaboration and Ghostface and Master Killa. You, I think, posted a video of you and Meth when he talks about you being blackballed in the past and he couldn't work with you because of that. How many collabos did being blackballed prevent you from having
The
back in
entire
the day?
90s. The entire 90s. I was down with everybody. I was down with everybody in the 90s, everybody. But it was a different era where all the rappers we love was signed to major labels. None of them was independent, not one of them. All the underground rappers had major deals in the time. So you had to kind of work with who they allowed you to work with. And I was the bad guy because I was with Jive and I started all this bullshit. So Jive made the phone calls and said, "Hey, don't fuck with him. Don't fuck with him." But they all know each other. They're all in the same circles and bad mouthed me and blackballed me. And so when Method Def Jam was trying to do stuff, when Artists at Loud was trying to do stuff, when all the labels, when they wanted to work with R.A The Rugged Man, the artists, the labels go, "Oh, no, 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 that's no, not him." It's pretty simple. In an industry where everybody's down with each other and friends with each other, all the presidents, oh, don't do that. And they all work, what happens is with someone with Jive, they go, "Oh, you want this R. Kelly on your album? I'll give you R. Kelly for your artist." And it's like almost like they switch, who gets who for what artists with labels to collab with each other. So me, what does my name hold in weight? I was a blackballed, underground, crusty, crazy rapper. So working with me was, it didn't benefit any of them. Not the artists, but the labels. So yeah, it was a fucked up time where when they tell you you can't work with him, don't fuck with him, and all the art. Okay, sure. We'll work with someone else who you tell us to work with, or allow us to. Because the labels were funding everybody, and you have to. It's similar to Hollywood. Like if a certain actor has an affair with a director or something, an actress is with a director or something, and then don't fuck with her. That's the ex-wife, or that's this, or or if an actor acts up in a set and they all talk, "Oh, don't work with him, don't work," it's just it's simple. They all know each other. The call's made, boom. And if you're not, at that time I was an underground rapper. The label and me didn't get along. We couldn't start our own buzz on the internet. We couldn't break ourselves. Back in the 90s, you had to work with a label to become something. Back in the day, nobody was really, there was no way to do it. There was some stories of certain artists selling some tapes out of their trunk of their car. They sold 50,000 tapes out the trunk of their car, but that still wasn't the power of a corporation. So,
But
and
you've worked with a lot of those others, like the others that you didn't work with because you got blackballed. Are there no bad blood? Like you're okay with it?
yeah, well, the thing is, they was always my boys. They was always my boys. And it's the funniest thing is, a lot of the dudes that were blown up in the '90s, they're not doing so good now, but they were doing great in the '90s. So they'd be calling me up like, "Hey, yo, well, we got to do something. We got to do something." It's like, "Oh yeah, all right, let's talk about it. Give me the record. Let's see what it sounds like." A lot of people trying to work with you that didn't want to work with you in the past. But I mean, couldn't work with you in the past. Now they want to work with you because your name holds more weight than theirs. So
Well, you and Meth would still be a good track if it ever happens, no
yeah, I
matter
don't know
what.
what's up with meth. I always thought we should do something. I think I tried to reach out to. I didn't have a contact on meth personally. I don't know how to find meth right now. I had his. I'm terrible with my phones. I'm old school. I don't back my shits up. Everybody always give me their number. I lose my phone, or the water fucks up my phone, or so I lose everybody's personal fucking phone numbers. And I was trying to find meth for this record, and he was one of the guys I couldn't get a hold of. So
Gersh, hook him up. You can
yeah.
find the phone.
looking to get him for an interview too. So when I find him, I will let you know. I think you also posted you were gonna do a song with a premiere. Is that still happening?
Oh no, I never said that. I didn't say that, did
I thought I saw it somewhere, or maybe with Afro when you hooked them
Maybe
I?
you
up
Yeah,
dreamt
together.
it.
Afro did a whole album with Primo. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
They recorded like 12, 11 or 12 songs together.
I want to hear that.
Yeah.
And but speaking of Afro, who's like from a younger rapper, you've been very vocal about younger rappers and new school hip hop. Are there any mainstream rappers that you fuck with that you listen to?
Name some and I'll tell you.
J. Cole, for instance.
Well, J. Cole got a song I like a lot. One that he did was the one about the two sides of the pregnancy debate. I thought that was really smart,
Hmm.
man. It's like, the woman wants to have an abortion, the man wants her to have an abortion. And then, so it showed the two sides of both. It sounded like an anti-abortion and a pro-abortion. Then it sounded like the girl saying, like, how are you going to push me to have an abortion? Like, I don't know, the way he worded everything. I haven't heard the record in a while, but I was like blown away by that particular record. But I'm not always in love with everything he does. But I like him. I think he's good. I think the guys in my camp are much better. I think the people I roll with wrap circles around all of those guys. That's the thing. Like it sounds like a hater, but it's not. It's my opinion. Like I really think people that rhyme with me in my circles, all of them. Like you look at the guys on my album, I think all of them. I think G-Rap, Inspector Deck, all of them rhyme circles around all of those guys. But
So we,
Kendrick, J. Cole, and who's the other ones? But those are the two main praise guys. I mean, I think everybody, Locksmith, I think everybody in my circle, rap circles around them lyrically, and not people go, oh, but song making too. I believe song making too.
who in your circle, like one of the guys you work with, should be a mainstream, like a big top best debate
All
ever?
of them, all of them, for real.
That doesn't
Like,
narrow it
like,
down.
like the thing that people don't understand is the music industry is politics. It's the same as why we get two dopey presidents. We get fucking Donald Trump and Joe Biden, the two stupidest, most ignorant men in the fucking planet. Those are our two presidents, and we have a shitty guy like Trump. And who do they got that they want to defeat him? Joe Biden. A guy can't even fucking form a sentence, and he fucking sits on C-SPAN fondling children. It's like this is the guy we got. But that's the same thing with the music industry, where they, you know, promote and push the guys that are signed to them, obviously, because that makes them the money. And then people get fed by the machine and they believe what the machine feeds them, and they believe that this is the album we have to listen to because this is what I keep hearing about. So I think if all the people in my circle that rhyme had like if I had a machine working my shit, I would bring them all. Come on, we got the $1 billion machine here. Let's rock. We're in bed with all the media outlets. We're in bed with all the magazines. We're in bed with all the blogs. We're in bed with Google. We're in bed with all of them. Come on, my crew. Let's all shine. And everywhere, these are the best rappers in the world. That's what everybody would be saying, you know. But when you do it independently with no money, and the only way people know who you are is the fans. That this is what you get. You got to just rely on the fans saying that they love your shit. If somebody's more famous than Inspector Deck, it don't mean that they rap better than him.
Yeah.
And I saw you got props from Logic though. He was like excited about your album. I'm sure there are a lot more rappers, from the mainstream circle who are friends of who are fans of yours. Do you sometimes hear from them, like you did from Logic?
Yeah, well, the OGs, a lot of them hit me up. A lot of the mainstream cats listen to my shit on tour, listen to my music, study my music, don't shout me out, and do the shit that I do and get inspired by the shit I do and influenced by the shit I do. and it's not just me too. They do it to my peers as well. And then, people, because they're the corporately funded MCs. People, oh, they're geniuses. They thought of all this shit. It's like, no, no. Listen to the motherfuckers that did it before them and better than them. There's a lot of us, So
How about the trap sound? Are there any artists that you enjoy, even if their sound is very different from the hip hop that you grew up with?
yeah. I listen to all music, and yeah, there's trap shit that I actually fuck with the way it sounds, and even my fans would be like, "What?" But my guy Will from World Star, he produces a lot of videos for that guy Casanova, and
Mm.
Casanova's the last shit in the world that you know the lyrical guys listen to, right? But they played me a couple videos, and there was this ignorant aggression in it, and I was like, he's not super lyrically complex, but he has this aggressive attitude, and I understand it. I fuck with that, So it's not like uh, the guy, the rat guy. He everything he's ever made, I just can't feel nothing he made, But yeah,
And
And in all your albums, you talk about the love for old school hip hop, especially in this one. What do you think that the new rappers can learn from those legends?
well, those new rappers could learn the same shit that all of us learned, from listening to James Brown and listening to Sam Cooke and listening to soul records and listening to funk and disco and you know the same thing. Rakim used to listen to all the jazz musicians. I think Coltrane was his hero, and so you learn from people who have done it in the past, who were genius at what they did and brilliant at what they did. So if you think like, oh, I'm so great, and then you go in the studio and you're just doing shit that's like a lesser version of shit that everybody's done, but you're doing a way worse version of it. That's because you have no. A lot of times, it's because you have no historical context. When you're studying all the greats, you see like, yo, like if I want to be good at this, I got to step my shit up because this dude was doing this in 1962. This dude was doing this in 1948. This dude was doing this in 1987, 1994. Like you could see that, yo, you're not inventing the wheel, motherfucker. There's dudes that are doing so many things. And then you actually, instead of just learning from a couple ignorant, SoundCloud verses that you hear, you can learn from the greatest ever recordings of all time. So why not do that? Why not study? Like if you're a filmmaker, what are you gonna do? Just watch YouTube videos, and be like, "Hey, I'm a great filmmaker." You don't think you would be better at filmmaking if you watched a little bit of Orson Welles and Hitchcock and studied film? It's like anything. It's like anything ever. If you want to be great at anything, you have to study what you do. I thought that was common sense, but in hip hop, they've turned that into uncommon sense. Like, no, who cares about the past? Who cares about our elders? Who cares? It's like, if you do martial arts, what are you gonna do? Just spar with the guys in your fucking dojo next to your house? You're gonna get your ass kicked anywhere you go, but you spar with some masters, and all of a sudden you're picking up tricks. It's like anything, man. If you're a beat maker sitting in your house, or say some of the legends bring you over their crib and teach you some tricks, you're not gonna get better from learning the tricks from the OGs. Of course you are, 1,000%.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
I'm
know.
gonna sidetrack for a minute because you talked about movies, about films, and I know you're a big film lover and specifically horror film lover. And I gotta ask you this question. I've seen Bad Biology. It's a
Oh yeah.
crazy, crazy pick, man. Do you have any intention to do another movie?
Yeah, I was gonna shoot something in Belgium. I was planning on touring off this album and going and shooting a movie in Belgium, but the world's different now. I don't know if I could get funding.
Hmm. Is there a 10-foot dick in it?
Probably.
There has to be. In recent years, you got on Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift instrumentals, and you bodied those tracks. What made you want to do that?
Well, the Miley Cyrus beat was hard as fuck. Like it was really hard. It almost sounded like almost some shit that Chuck D and the Bomb Squad would have been on in the 80s or you know, I was like, what the how the fuck is that a Miley Cyrus beat? Like go listen to it. It's called Do It. And listen to the R.A The Rugged Man version of Do It. The beat is so fucking hard. And she was just doing some Miley Cyrus, you know, porno shit on it. Like
Yeah, on the
videos,
video.
she had like cum dripping all over her face. And I seen a lot of old people like, this is the grossest video. What the fuck? And I was like, I kind of like it. So that's why I did the Miley Cyrus one. But then Taylor Swift, I went on the internet and said, hey, yo, I can rhyme to any fucking beat. Pick something out. And a bunch of people like Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. And I saw the new song, and I was like, I can body this. That's easy. That's easy work. So I did it as a joke, and then everybody loved it. So yeah.
Do you have any idea if they got to hear it?
You know, Taylor Swift is you know, the most famous entertainer on the planet. But
Yeah,
you know,
but Miley Cyrus is not.
no, oh, you're saying both of them. But I
Yeah.
was just saying the Taylor Swift thing. I'm not sure if they got to hear it. I tweeted it to Miley and everything. Uh, but Taylor Swift, I know that we split the rights on YouTube, so they get
Yeah.
half of the royalties off for the song or whatever, and I get the half of my YouTube or half of the monetization. So I know her team caught it, but I don't know if she caught it herself. You know, which you know, sometimes you're sitting on in the tour bus or whatever, and you Google your damn name or YouTube your name. I mean, there's a chance she would have been like, "What the fuck is this? Oh, this guy's a dick. Fuck him."
That's what I wanted to hear.
My kids love her though. I wish I was connected with Taylor just so my kids could meet her. You know, like, hey, go sit on Taylor Swift's lap. You know, I don't dislike Taylor. You know what I like about Taylor Swift is her videos.
Mm.
Um, like I see a lot of pretentious people doing videos, and they're like these artsy videos, and I'm always like, this video sucks. Or like a big record like Justin Timberlake had the sunshine in my pocket, you know, it got like 1 billion views on the internet.
Yeah.
I watched the video and it sucks. It's like him in a supermarket, and then people are dancing, corny people are dancing, him in a suit. I'm like, yo, this guy got all the money in the world, 1 billion views, and his video sucks. Taylor Swift, on the other hand, uh, I watch her videos and I'm jealous of them. I'm like, yo, they're so well produced and directed. Like, this is what I wish I had money so I could fucking make a video look this fucking spectacular. She really stretches her money, even though it's not like our kind of music. I just like the fact
Yeah.
that she makes super dope videos where like other folks that you know at her you know status or whatever don't make whack shit, you know, shit that my shit's better than, you know. My videos are better, you know? So
And do you like, for example, also the Kendrick Lamar videos? Because he also has got really well produced videos. Like,
I think Taylor Swift videos are better, man. She got the best videos out, man. She always got a good video. You know, even if the song ain't ours, I like her videos. I'm impressed by. I like in hip hop, I like a lot of the videos Tyler the Creator did for a lot of decade, for a lot of
Yeah.
for the last 10 years or whatever, however long it was, or 8 years, however long he was around. He's a good video director, Tyler the Creator.
And
Like
how musically do you accept him?
he's good. He's good. I like Tyler. And I met him on the street one time, and he was cool, down to earth, nice guy, you know. I invited him. I said, yo, the studio's around the corner. Come up to the studio. He politely was like, oh no, so you know, I'm having, you know, I got, you know, okay. He didn't come up to the studio. I said, yo, come up to the studio, you know. But he was respectful, dope dude. I met him on the street. It was like his energy was really, really like a sweetheart. Like I was like, yo. And I did a festival with him at when they were Odd Future still. We did a festival somewhere in the fucking world. I don't remember where it was, but the one time I was had a conversation with him. I was in Soho at a restaurant, and we was having breakfast right next to each other, and yeah, something like that. Yeah.
that was interesting to hear these kind of stories. But let's talk about since the last album, you also discovered Afro, and you two formed a great friendship. What did you see in him when you first heard him?
Well, I hate the new school vocal tones. The way rappers are allowed to sound like they get kicked in the nuts and be accepted as a rapper. You know, I hate that sound. And this boy was 16 years old talking about, but I thought he was like 35. Like, how the fuck his voice? He's like Bill Withers of hip hop.
Mm.
Ain't no sunshine. He's like really he's his vocal tone and his flow is monstrous. Obviously, like he has one of the most impressive flows. But it was more his delivery. Even like I loved his flow and I love his flow, but the delivery was like, yo, this is like he could compete uh with the golden era dudes, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, we're still waiting for his album. Is it still coming up?
Well, we were gonna mix it before COVID, and then the
Hmm.
studio closed down, and then I was gonna fund it with the money I was doing off of touring, and my tours got canceled. So we're just figuring that out right now. Yeah, it's
So
done. We just have to mix it now. Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I really love the chemistry that you guys have. It's like a Red and Meth type of thing. Even with also with the fact that you two do a lot of features together, so it's really like a great chemistry between you two.
Yeah. We got a good relationship, man. He and plus he's an old man. He's young 20s, but he's like an old ass man. He's just an old man, like old soul. He likes all the old 70s horrors and 80s horrors and likes all the 70s music and 80s music. And, you know, I mean, he'll go and post about fucking Dizzy Gillespie and Louis Armstrong. Like he's an old ass man, you know. For a kid, he's an old man, you know. So.
I think you have this feature as well. Like from a young age, you like old music, quote unquote.
Yeah, but I think that was my era, though.
Mm.
I really do. I think that was my era where that was obvious to do. It was always obvious to study the greats. You know, I don't think I think it's a more new thing where it's like, yeah, fuck those boomers. You
You
know,
know, I had this
like
young.
Big Daddy Kane wanted to do records with Barry White. You know, when Quincy Jones reached out to Big Daddy Kane and Kumo D, they was like, "Holy shit, Quincy Jones!" Like nobody was like that old boomer Quincy Jones. You know, it's just a different new school mentality where they don't want to study what was before them or even respect what was before them. It's really strange. It's really strange. Yeah.
But I had a rapper in the studio from he's an Israeli rapper from the young generation, and he's doing like mostly like trap music. But afterwards, I gave him a ride home, and in the car, he tells me about how much he listens to A.f.r.o and Cage and these type of artists. Sometimes people can surprise you with it.
Yeah.
Do
And
who would you like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Oh, Big Daddy Kane. Uh,
Is he still doing songs? Like I haven't heard from him for a while.
Still a monster. Yeah. Kane's a monster. He doesn't put out albums though, but he's still
Hmm.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'd
I
love
know
to
he's been performing for a long time.
work with Kane. Me and Red Man never did nothing. Me and
Mm.
Red Man Ben should have did shit, you know. Uh LL Cool J. Run Your Jewels. We always talk about doing
oh,
something. I'd like to still work with Killer Mike and LP. Uh there's a lot of people off the head I'm kind of stuck, you know. I think
LP and
more
Hugo
maybe
Bear.
production wise, like I wouldn't mind working with a new school, new style of producers that I never worked with, like guys that know how to do hip hop but are still commercial. Like I wouldn't mind just for the fuck of it, go in the studio with like a Mark Ronson and see what Mark Ronson comes up with, or one of these guys that like really, do hip hop. They started with Ghostface and all of this
No.
shit, but they also know how to do, the crossover stuff too. I wouldn't mind seeing, what somebody like me and Mark Ronson would come up with right now in 2020. Like shit like that. My old school OG legends, Teddy Riley. Just to be in the studio with him. I'd love to just sit in the studio with him, even if we don't make something. I don't know, but
You seen the battle?
yeah, and I don't. The IG battles are trash to me.
Really?
Teddy Riley greater than Babyface. Fuck that.
But
I
Premier and
agree.
Reza,
Teddy Riley bodies Babyface. Everybody said Babyface won, but it's because they're all about pop charts. Where like Teddy's about the black charts and the hip hop charts. He made some of the greatest rap records that ever happened. He made some of the greatest, black music records that ever happened.
He
But
invented the style.
exactly. But Babyface, they'll go, oh, he did Boys to Men, the biggest song of all time. And they name all these big pop songs that are like cheesy, But Babyface is a legend and a legendary songwriter. But I think they just shitted on Teddy. And I didn't like the way they treated Teddy in that thing.
Mm.
So,
but did you see the one with Primo and Reza? That was a good one.
yeah. I'm not into the internet, yo. Like I just did a show last night where we all rapped for no crowd. It was it's life now, so I made the best out of it and the fans enjoyed it, but I like to be in front of a live crowd, and if I see a battle, I want to see Teddy and Babyface on stage battling each other, I want to be on a stage and,
With boxing gloves.
fan interaction and crowd response. Who gets the crowd louder? Who gets the crowd over? I don't know. Yeah.
I heard you rapping in German on the track. Was it that hard for you to do?
Yeah, Cool Savas and Sammy Deluxe. The mother of my kids was there helping me write the German parts out, because I was trying to figure out how to rhyme whatever, and she was helping me with words because my German's not great. Yeah.
Tomer, you kind of speak German, right?
Well, my mother was from
Not that
Germany
well.
when I
My
was.
wife is
What?
my wife is German. She moved here, but yeah, I'm still not that fluent in it. We speak English to each other.
Why'd you go get a German wife? Israeli women are so beautiful, and the most beautiful thing I ever see is when Israeli girls live in America and they'd be like, "This is my picture from when I was in college," and it'll be like this beautiful hot girl with like a fucking machine gun, like, ah.
So we got plenty of those. When you'll
I
come,
see it all the time. Like, this is me in college, and she's like, like, oh shit, she's hot as fuck, and she's got a giant gun.
maybe it's the guns that do it for you.
Nah,
We've heard your songs. So yeah, we have plenty of those here.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Yeah.
Well, there's one last
Um,
thing I think we want to talk about, and it's on this album and actually on the one before. You have a lot of personal songs about your family. When did you realize it was something you wanted to talk about in your music? You wanted to spill out?
Well, when I first started getting personal on records, I realized it worked, and then the fans responded. The fans responded, and they tell you how much it touched them, and how much it moved them, and how much it helped them through their lives. So I make it a something that I do now, where I go, you know what? If you give them a little bit of your personal life, they could relate to it, because the whole world, whatever tragedy you've been through, whether it's rape or death or imprisonment or heart, whatever it is, there are people in the world, or loss. There's people in the world who have been through the same struggle, even if it's not the same exact struggle. So when you're putting on the paper, like, yo, listen, this is my struggle. We got past this. We're here. We could do it together. Um, they all their struggles feel like, okay, I'm not isolated. I'm not the only one who suffers. I'm not the only one who's been through some shit. I'm not the only one who's lost lost and lost and lost. You know, I'm not the only one who felt like not living. You know, I'm not the only one. So yeah, so you throw those songs down and you save lives and you help people's lives with those words, you know. And I'm not the only one. I mean, musicians been doing that and artists been doing that. But it's nice to be able to contribute and have fans be able to listen to your music and like if there was a song I could put on and I'm like, wow, this is gonna help me feel better. I'm gonna do good today. If I put on this record, I'll put that record on, you know. So
Yeah, I think that's what music is for, and that's probably one of the reasons that this album hit harder, because it came out in a time where everybody is distancing and alone, and it kind of put it all together, as in you're not alone, creating this connection.
yeah. Thank you, man. Thanks.
One last thing, maybe to ask, if an OG, an Israeli OG rapper, asked us to ask me personally to ask you a question. So shout out to Sagol 59. And what he's asking is, when you recorded Every Record Label Sucks Dick in 1994, how did you hook up with Buck Wild, and did you really plan it for it to be released by an actual record label? That's his question.
Yeah, well, Buck Wild, I knew Buck Wild before he was a known producer. I think when I met Buck, he was making beats for 6 months, you know, and he hadn't sold a beat yet, you know. And you know, I had the big deal on Jive and he had his beat tape. He gave me the beat tapes and I had a bunch of famous people give me beat tapes and Buck had his. And I was kind of like that beat, you know. And he, you know, I think that was something. I don't know if he was expecting that beat from me either. I think he was the fuck is on my I got a cut there? It's seen on a little screen.
Is
Um
it?
no
Can't
no,
see from here.
that's all good. But yeah, so Buck, I just know him and he gave me the beat tape and I think he wanted me to rap to something more wild and crazy because that was my personality. But nah, I took the smooth beat and just rapped some knowledge on it, you know. And
How did he react when he got back, when you got back to him and the song was Every Record Label Sucks Dicks?
no, well, this was a different era where you didn't just get the beat and then you recorded it and then hand it back. This was we were all in the studio together.
Okay.
He came to the studio, we were there. You know, we all recorded it to, you know, with him there and mixed it and you know, and he loved it. They were all like, "Yo, this is," you know, they all thought it was next level. They all fucking was in love with it, you know. So, and Easy LP was there. He ended up, you know, he was like, "Yo, this is gonna take you over the top better than everybody." You know, they all thought it was like a hit, you know. So,
Did
like
they thought, did
LP
you,
ended up doing "Fuck Bitches Get Money" for Biggie and players, you know, one of the
There's
big
Anthem.
yeah, play his anthem, and he did Blood Money for Capone and Noriega. He had a lot of big years right after that time too. And I knew LP, Easy LP, before he ever made a beat in his life. You know.
so did you ever thought that this record was going to be released by a record label?
Yeah, yeah, I thought so. I thought so. You know,
Didn't
but
they try to push back?
no, it was my personality. It was everything else. You know, so you know, it was me. I was rebelling against the label. You know, they don't care if you shit on them if they can make money off of it. You know.
That says everything, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
I
Yeah, we had a lot from you about how the record industry works. By the way, though, just because you brought it up, do you still get to do records this way sometimes when you're with the producer or or the rappers that you're working with and you're together in the studio? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, yeah, you get to do it. You still get to do it. You know, you bring the producers to the studio, you all sit down, you all, you know, get creative, you work on the chorus. But in all honesty, a lot of the producers in this day and age too, they're more like used to send them the beat and you know, so when you bring the guy who's supposed to produce the song to the studio, sometimes they don't have much input. All they do is play the beat and then they want you to do everything else to it. So you say, okay, here, let me bring, yo, bassist, get in the studio, yo, horn player, get in the vocal room, yo, flute player, yo, the guy that's gonna do the backgrounds on the chorus, you do the chant here. Like, it's a lot of times, yeah, they did the beat, but you're there producing every element of the fucking song, which that's why my albums take a long time too, where like I wish I had more producers who just did it all, you know.
Yeah,
Every
that's the
and
difference
some of the
between a
beats on
beat
my
maker
album,
and producer.
like Gotta Be Dope by C Lance and MTK. That beat is exactly what they made. We just did arranging and drops, you know. Prince Paul's beat was, we didn't touch that. We didn't add nothing to that. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't add nothing to, but there's a lot of beats where we really went to work on, you know, making the songs bigger, 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 you know. So
All right, R.A, thank you so much for speaking to us. It was really a pleasure.
Yeah, man, it
And
was a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
oh no, thank you for promoting the record and pushing it. All My Heroes Are Dead. Tell the world to get it, because that's, like I said, it's the only promo we have is you people, people out there, fans who love the record, and pushing it and promoting it and telling the world about it. But that's all we have, you know. So
Yeah, you keep making them, we keep pushing.
for
thank you,
sure.
sir. Thanks.
Thanks. Peace.
It
Peace.
was a pleasure. Thanks, man. טוב, תודה לכל מי שצפה בנו. היה ממש תענוג.
כן, that's all she wrote.
פוריד.
אז תודה רבה לכם, ויאללה, נקווה לעוד דברים כאלה.
תראה בשידור אולי.
כן,
אולי.
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 יאללה.
ביי. אולי.
אולי ביי. לא, בטוח ביי.
אולי. אולי.